They need in zone 5, they're going to need, get my packet out. This packet says it handles sprouts very well. They're going to need in zone 5 at least anywhere from 14 to 16 hours of light, but I grabbed the wrong packet for my area, so don't do that. The one that I do have is minimum full sun of 6 to 12 hours, and I was supposed to have 14 to 16 hours, because as you go through the summer, you know that it gets brighter at like 5:30 in the morning, and don't get dark till 9:30 at night. So pay close attention to that. Now here I have onion sets, which I will plant. The only problem with the onion sets is it don't specify which area they're going to grow best in. So with these onion sets, when I plant them, I'm going to plant them through the entire garden as a companion, so it helps with bad bugs, which there aren't that many bad bugs that are going to eat your plants, as everybody thinks there is. So I'm just going to companion plant these onions in with carrots, for example. Now, the carrot fly is not going to like the smell of the onions and not bother the carrot itself. So your carrots will stay whole instead of bugs eating them. But I have 200 bulbs of these. I have white, red, and yellow onions in these. The other issue with the bulbs like this is the bulb is already stressed. So when you go into your store and you buy bulbs, you are buying 1-year-old bulbs. And with that, they were dug up and set aside over the winter and then shipped to the store. So that's all need to know information. As soon as all these damn trucks stop going by, it'd help, right? So we are gonna go ahead, start planting these. I got these from Walmart, like $3.24. So if they don't do anything, it's no big deal. Alright, so here I have my chart of what bed's gonna go with in what. So, as planned, I was gonna do rows for carrots and onions, but I'm gonna go around the outer edge of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do onions on the outside here, all the way around. So in order to get a straight line, I'm going to use this board, kind of draw me a line in a matter of speaking. Don't have to be absolutely perfect. Where your line's got to be, you're good to go. Now the reason why there's cold weather crops is because they need that dormant stage, and when it's warm enough, they will grow on their own. So I'm not worried about that. I've done it like this for years. Reach over here and get my onion packet. Let's see, how deep do these suckers gotta be? 7 to 14 days for germination. Temperatures, depth 1/4. There we are. Tap the top of your package a little bit. Knock those seeds down there. Now, if you go and you plant too many seeds in one area, you can take these seeds and you can replant them. So if you get a cluster of 4 plus seeds, then all you're gonna do is take up the little seedling and replant it. It's that simple. Onions are very heavy feeders, so you're gonna want to make sure you feed them well. They need nitrogen. Oh, sorry, I'm planting and talking to you at the same time. You're gonna need nitrogen and phosphorus, like I was saying, if I can talk today. Yeah, there was about 8 in that one section. That's the problem with tiny seeds, is they have a tendency of dropping more than you want them to. But that's alright, because we'll just thin them out as we go. And I'll post a chart of what I was talking about earlier about long day, short day, and intermediate day onions. Definitely not 1/4 there. Knock a little bit more soil down in there. Now, I am not going to go and cover this row up just yet, only because that way at least I know where I've already planted. Put my little seeds back in there. Now, we are calling for rain today, so that'll be helpful, because they do have to be watered when you plant them. We have our 1/4 of an inch trench going all the way around the bed for our onion seeds. All we're going to do is lightly cover them up. This is all compost soil, so that we get really good nutrients for our veggies. Alright, I found the easiest way to make a straight row. Nope, went too far. Is to take a small board and do what I'm doing right here. You need to straighten out your row because it's crooked. Just fill some of that dirt back in, and you'll be good to go. As you can see, our rows are pretty much straight all the way down through. So that little stick trick works. Our garden bed's about 1 foot high. A little over 1 foot high. And you want about 1 foot worth of soil. Oh no, I'm wrong. As you can tell, our rows are pretty straight using that one piece of wood. There's many different ways of doing this, but that's just the way that I prefer to do it. Our garden bed is about 10 inches high. I would recommend going 1 foot high if you're doing raised beds. The reason being is you want those carrots to be able to go and be able to reach down there to where they gotta go to grow. So it's a rough estimate on where and how deep or how big your carrots are first. So I usually don't measure each space, especially with small seeds. The reason being is because it's a pain in the ass. But over time, you can harvest the small ones and freeze those or can them. It's up to you what you prefer. That's just something I prefer. And if you're leaving your rows open like this so that way you know where you've already planted, I may suggest that you make sure that you get the right row. It's not crucial, but that's helpful. I got all my seeds from Baker's Creek this year. I've always went with this company, so I've always had good results with them. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend them. These carrots have to be an eighth of an inch deep. Hey, it gives a lot of little information on the back of this. An improvement on our famous Japanese kurodo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, type carrot. New kuroda is sugary sweet and the extra texture is ultra fine grained. The roots of this hardy bread can power through soil, or tough soil, and blistering heat, producing winning carrots in the most brutal conditions. And then it goes on with the planting instructions and all that information. So that's really helpful. I like to know where the seeds originated from. This one right here, that's the only problem when you're using a stick, is sometimes it's not as deep as you need it in certain areas. So I just go back through and make it deeper. Carrots also enjoy being planted next to tomatoes. You get better tomatoes and sweeter carrots when you do companion planting with those two. Well, I may do that. As you can see, I made a mistake. I got onion and carrot in there, but that's no big deal. There's some carrot seed right there. They're a little hard to see, but they're in there. There we go, focus now. So all we're gonna do is lightly cover these all up. I'm gonna do my onions first because I gotta always label your plants. I keep saying that, and I went and started my seedlings inside my tomatoes and things like that, and I ended up not marking one. So yeah, that was a little bit of an issue. Finally figured out what it was. It was a tomato plant, and a lady in group had mentioned it because she grows those. As soon as your soil is workable, meaning that it's not frozen, is when you want to start your cold weather crops. See, I can stick my finger all the way down in there with no problem. That probably wasn't a bright idea, but hey. You have that sometimes. I'll push that down a little bit. I didn't like the length of that one. Break that clump up a little bit. Cover up our onions. Really nice looking soil the guy's got. And if you're interested in any Facebook groups or anything like that, check out Nature's Wild Playground. We do have a Facebook group. We have a lot of fun in there, a lot of good information. You know, never hurts to learn extra things. Alright, now that we got our onions done, I'm going to go ahead and label those. So in a previous video of ours, we went and made gardening labels. It was 10 gardening label ideas. And one of my labels was using old canning jar lids, which come really in handy. I'm going to draw a square on this, so I know exactly where my onions are. So that'll help out a little bit. Straighten out this wire. Oop. So the problem with wires, so fucking around. I don't want to do much. Alright, so we bent our wire down. All I'm going to do is bend it up, just like you would a pot hanger, and grab my onion, hang that off there, and stick her in the ground. Just stuck it right in the ground, and you're good. It'll stay right there. No wind issues, no nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with our carrots. Straighten out your wire. Bend it over. Back up. And for this one, since we have our carrots in 3 rows, I'm just going to draw 3 little lines so that way I know exactly where my carrots are. Put that one on there. Stick it in the ground, cover them up. That's simple. May as well cover them all up as I go. Make it a little bit easier. Now we got, today's supposed to be 73. So it's going to be pretty decent out. But they're calling for scattered showers toward the afternoon. So that'll be nice. At least for the garden. Not for everybody working outside, that's for damn sure. DJ did go back to work, so it's gonna be you and I quite a bit this summer. That's alright. And there's one garden bed down. A few more to go. Oh, it's starting to sprinkle. I just got hit in the head. Here's our horseradish. Horseradish is a perennial. I recommend growing this in a tote with drainage holes or in a garbage can because it will go out from the bottom of the bed into your yard and spread like wildfire. So there's a few different ways of doing this to mark your areas. Alright, so we have beets going in this area. We have 15-pound heads of cabbage, so I'm going to set that aside. And more beets. So you take your garden markers and mark them now. And what row you want all this in. Or you can lay your packets on the ground. Laying your packets on the ground will create moisture in them, but they will not grow because it's not going to be on the ground that long. So it's your option on what way you want to do it. I'm going to lay it on the edge of the bed. So I know what row is going to go on what. Detroit's going there. Another Detroit. My Goldens. And my cabbage. So, these seeds are old, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. They come up, they come up. They don't, they don't. Put that seed right there in the middle. Put this shit up. You don't fall. And place those down there. I'm going to do the same concept as we did with our carrots and our onions. Straighten out my wire here. Now beets and cabbage. Alright, it says on this packet, popular standard since 1892. All-purpose type, uniform, smooth, sweet, and tasty. Good for greens too. So we are going to use beet greens this year and can those and process those, and I can show you how to do that. How to planting instructions. Amend planting site with well-rotted compost. Work soil deeply and remove rocks. Sow 3 to 4 weeks before last frost. Thin early for best results. Requires neutral to slightly alkaline soil. So I do plan on not spacing these properly. Some people may frown upon that, but that's just the way I garden. You may garden differently than I do. The reason why I'm going to not space these properly at first is I want some little beets to can. I do pickled beets, my son loves them, so I have to do quite an abundance of those this year. Now I'm going to go ahead and thin those out when that time comes, and then we'll have bigger beets for canning. I'm going to go ahead and get my trench ready, and these have to be a ½ inch deep. Says planting space 4 to 6 inches apart. Frost hardy, yes. Minimum full sun, 6 to 8 hours. This is a partially shaded bed that I'm putting them into, but they will get at least 6 hours of light. The reason why I'm doing partially shaded bed is because I have lettuce that I want to continuously grow throughout the summer, and I'm going to have that in 2 different areas. I'm thinking the shade bed over here, the part shade, and then underneath our trellis where we're going to hang our watermelons, there are cucumbers, anything that vines. We're doing vertical gardening, which will provide shade for the plants that like the cooler weather, and they go in bulk. So I'm hoping that does work out the way I'd like to have that work out. But if it don't, it's a learning experience for all of us. So instead of me rambling on, I'm going to go ahead and start doing this trench. Now I got my beets in here already. Next we are doing the 15-pound cabbages. Introduced by European settlers in 1860, standard giant flat storage cabbage, 10 to 15 pounds heads of high quality, delicious flavor. So, tons of sauerkraut this year, hopefully. We will get cabbage heads. And cabbage are really high feeders. They love to eat. In order to be that size, they have to eat. Well, the natural fertilizer will be good to go in that. So we got our beets in the ground. I'm just going to go ahead and cover those up. Now the reason why I left that outer row down here empty is this outer row right here. Might help if you can see what I was doing. The reason why I left that empty is because I'm going to plant peppers in here, and the peppers are going to help with cabbage moths and the cabbage caterpillars, and we'll be adding eggshells to help with that issue. So we're going to lightly cover those up. Oh, there's a sheet. Or put that back down there. More beets, the better. Like I said previously, we have 3 different types of onions. We got the white, the red, and the yellow, which I bought from Walmart. So we're going to go ahead and plant these in with our cabbage and our beets, because they are going to also help with those cabbage moths. When it comes to onion sets, you want to plant the root end right here. This will be considered the top, and that's considered the root end. So I went to Walmart, and I am big on bringing pollinators into the garden. So we went to Walmart and we bought these. These are beneficial for pollinating insects like your bees and butterflies, being your common ones that you hear about all the time. Now the issue is nobody stops and really thinks about it. Ants are pollinators, and so are mosquitoes. They climb on the flowers in your garden beds and bring it to another flower. So those 2 are also pollinators. Many different insects are, besides bees and butterflies. Those being your most popular ones that are talked about. So we went and bought some of these roots, and we're just going to put them in our garden bed so we can attract them and help feed them during the summer. So we're just going to throw those right in here. And when these grow up, we will have orange flowers in the garden. They are perennials. I prefer to stick with perennials more than annuals, but I will be buying annuals this year because of marigolds. They are also beneficial, and they also help with companion planting and bad bugs and help other plants grow and so on. So if you like this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.